Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you're getting ready to tackle your first big academic challenge, huh? You are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're going to go on a quest to master the art of writing a scientific review paper. And like any great adventure, the very first step is to take a good look at the map. So, here's our game plan for today. First up, the quest begins, where we'll figure out what this is all about. Then we're charting your course, all about preparation. After that, we get to the really good stuff, building your masterpiece. We'll also cover assembling your toolkit, because you need the right gear. And finally, I'll share some secrets to success to make sure your journey goes smoothly. Okay, first things first. Before we can even think about writing one of these things, we have to understand what it is we're up against. What exactly is a review paper, and why should you even care about writing one? And that brings us to the most fundamental question of all. It sounds simple, I know, but the answer really sets the stage for this entire process. Right. Here's the absolute key takeaway. You are not going into a lab and running new experiments. Nope. Instead, I want you to think of yourself as part detective, part storyteller. You're digging through all the research that's already been published, and you're piecing it together to create this big, cohesive picture of what the scientific community knows about a topic so far. Now, this is a really important distinction to make. See, a standard research article basically shouts, hey, look what I discovered. But a review paper takes a step back and says, okay, let's look at what we, as a whole field, have discovered over the years. The goal is different, the structure is different. Honestly, it's a completely different kind of beast. And this is exactly why your quest is so valuable. You're not just making a list of facts. You are performing a vital service for the entire scientific community. You're basically drawing a map for other researchers, showing them the progress we've made, highlighting the big trends, and, most importantly, pointing out the gaps, the spots where the treasure might be buried. You get to suggest where future explorers should dig next. All right, so now that we've got the what and the why locked down, it's time to get prepared. No adventurer ever succeeded without a good plan. So let's start charting the course for your paper. This is the foundation for everything that comes next. Your journey really begins with two huge first steps. First, you've got to pick your destination. That's your topic. And second, you need to gather all your supplies. And in this case, that means collecting all the existing research papers about that topic. This right here is so important. Picking a super broad topic like chemistry of natural products is kind of like saying you want to map all of Asia on your first trip. It's just too big. What you want to do is zoom way in on a specific, interesting little corner, like the isolation and therapeutic potential of flavonoids from medicinal plants. See the difference? A focus topic is a topic you can actually manage. Okay, so how do you gather all those papers? Well, you'll start with search engines like Google Scholar or PubMed. Then you absolutely need a reference manager. Think of tools like Mendeley or Zotero as your personal digital library to keep everything organized. But hey, here's a pro tip for you. Check out modern tools like Connected Papers. They can literally create a visual map of how different studies are connected to each other. It's an incredible shortcut for getting up to speed in a new field. Okay, you've got your focus topic, you've gathered your literature. Now it's time for the main event. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of how you actually build this thing. We're going to look at the blueprint for a great review paper. I want you to think of this like you're an architect. The title and abstract? That's your front door. It needs to be clear and inviting. The introduction sets the scene for your reader. The body sections are the main rooms of the house, where you build out all your key arguments, usually organized by theme. And you finish with a strong conclusion, your final thoughts. And of course, the references. That's the foundation your entire structure is built on. Everybody listen up, because this is the secret sauce. This is what separates an okay review paper from a truly great one. You're not just a reporter listing facts. You are a critic. You need to be asking questions like, okay, was this study's method really the best one to use? Or, this paper's conclusion totally contradicts what that other paper found. What's going on there? That critical analysis, that's where you provide the real value. You wouldn't go on a quest without the right gear, right? Well, research is no different. Let's take a look at the modern digital toolkit that's going to make your journey way smoother and a whole lot more effective. This table pretty much lays it all out for you. You've got your reference managers we talked about for keeping your sources straight. If you're in a field like chemistry, you'll need something like ChemDraw to create professional structures. For making graphs and analyzing data, Origin Lab and even Excel are your best friends. And of course, you have writing tools like Grammarly to polish your sentences and plagiarism checkers to keep you honest. It's a whole arsenal of tools right at your fingertips. We're almost at the end of our map, but before I send you off on your own adventure, let's go over a few final secrets. You know, the kind of tips that seasoned researchers wish they knew when they were starting out. So here it is, your final checklist. First, and I can't say this enough, keep that topic focused. Second, use figures and tables to break up text and make your points crystal clear. Third, always paraphrase and cite your sources. This is completely non-negotiable. Don't get overwhelmed by all the software. Just learn the basics of one or two tools to start. And probably the most important piece of advice, write this thing one section at a time. This is a marathon, not a sprint. And that's it. You have the map, you have the tools, and you have the strategy. The world of scientific knowledge is out there, just waiting for you to explore it, to find the patterns, and to uncover the unanswered questions. The only thing left to do now is to begin. So what will you discover?